Good morning. So I have been in a couple of one-on-ones this morning with a couple of my key team members, and they are experiencing feeling burnt out. They're feeling like they're not getting enough accomplished. They're letting their team down and all those other things. So one of the methodologies that I'm using to help them is what I call the top three. I think I took it probably from the Warren Buffett 5 by 25 method, but I'm just going to go with top three, which is not the top three things you are working on right now, but the top three priorities you have to provide value to the organization, to the team you're a part of. So, the way I typically do this to help people narrow down their top three is what's called the Eisenhower method. You might also know it as important versus urgent. It's the same concept. And so what I do here is I'm just using a quick tool that our team implemented. It's called Miro. It's a whiteboarding tool. There's a lot of different brainstorming and virtual components you can do to it, right? And so what you have is do first, which is urgent and important, less urgent but important, urgent, less important, and then don't do. So neither urgent nor important. So what happens is most people start the beginning of the day with clear expectations of what they're going to get accomplished, right? Like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. But then something comes in and it changes everything, and or they get blocked on something and all those other things. And what ends up happening is they get to the end of the day and they are rating themselves on if they managed to get the things done that they thought they were going to get at the beginning of the day, instead of thinking, did I make the right decisions and focus on the most important urgent things, which is what is going to be best for my team and for me and for what I can do to move the needle on. So here's an example. So my first employee this morning is one of our managers, and she's been helping out with benefits and things like that. So she's in a situation, I'm asking her what her top three priorities, and she's telling me about, budgeting for 2023, and she's telling me about employee management and some of this new planning we're trying to do, and all that's great. But what she's telling me about is not what her highest priority is. She's telling me about what she's working on. And oftentimes they're things that are going to take multiple steps to get to. And so guess what? At the end of the day, it's not going to be done. And she's going to rank herself, be like, oh, I wish I got more done, right? And she's going to feel bad and she's going to come back tomorrow and still be drained. So what I tell her to do is this. What is your number one priority? If this comes in, if this is available, this is what is going to move the needle for Echo, for our team the most. And the answer is that it wasn't on her list, right? Because what her number one priority is to finalize our health benefits and start on enrollment. Not on enrollment, start enrollment, right? Open enrollment, that's what it's called. And so anyways, and she's like, "Well, yeah, I'm blocked on that. I'm not going to get it until early next week." And I'm like, "Okay, you said two really important things. Your number one priority is medical benefits for our team. That is our number one priority. That is something that we are investing on in Echo. I'm proud of it. Like we need to. We're a small company. It's hard. That's your number one priority. If you are blocked on that, then every single time when you're talking about it, it's like, this is my number one priority, I am blocked. If there is something you can do to mitigate that block, like follow up, like look at another option, like great, you should be working on that. That's a risk mitigation, like that's an issue mitigation. Your number one priority doesn't change because you're blocked. That's still your number one priority. So, number one priority is, right? Her number one priority is health benefits, right? Health benefits. Okay. Now, we were able to move on with open enrollment for dental and vision and some of our other benefits. And she's like, well, I sent that email out. And it's like, great. That's awesome. You sent your email out. But if something comes up, if someone has questions on that, if someone's blocked on that, if you need to provide information, isn't that your number two priority? And she's like, well, I wasn't planning on, working on anything on that today. That's fine. That's okay. But your top priority is health benefits, and your second priority is, right, the open enrollment for our team. That's your separate thing. Okay. Now, if there's nothing to do with that, that's great. That doesn't change your priority right now. Okay. So then there's other things coming on. So I think the third one was 2023, right? So 2023 cost or forecasting for hiring and everything like that. So 2023 budget plan. Now, that's really important, right? Like we're a growing company, we need that information, but it's not urgent, right? We still have a couple of months. So it is important, but it is less urgent than health benefits and open enrollment. Now, she might actually be able to move the needle on this because she's not blocked on that right now. Great. That's awesome. So that's the thing you're working on first today. That's great. Now, there's other things that are urgent that are less important, right? So she has something, I don't remember, we have a live learning situation and everything. And so she is going to contribute a tool to that. So I don't know, tool, I can't spell, tool for whatever, PMICV event, right? So that is something that is urgent because we have a live learning next week with people, but it is less important to our organization than the budget plan. Okay. Now, there's a key piece to the top three methodology that's really important, which is you can only have top three. It's not top four, it's not top five, it's not top two, top three. It cannot have any more than top three priorities, right? Now, you can have things that you're working on today, but it is not your top three priorities. These are the things that if they come in, they're going to drop everything else. Okay. Now, a new top three priority might come in. You might have moved this, you might have a draft or something like this. So now this is less important. In which case, don't work on it right now, right? You've already done a first draft. So now this isn't urgent. It's not as important right now because you have a first draft. You've moved the needle. So now something else might come in here, which is updating the onboarding process for Echo, right? But this right now is not as important, and this is important. And so that's how it works. So, anyways, I want to be very clear. So the goal of the top three process is to be very clear. So if I go to any person on my team, what are your top three priorities? They should say that with confidence. They should have reasons why that should happen. And, right, that doesn't mean that that's what they're working on today, and that's okay. But if you have a question of, is the tool for PMIC a V event or is the 2023 budget more important? That is a question that you should be asking your manager. That is something that you align on with the team. Being like, I think that the 2023 budget is more important than the tool for PMIC V event, even though this is more urgent. And if I don't get this done, it's just not going to happen. Do you agree, team? And the team is either going to say yes or no, and then they validate you, and then you feel confident. I know that I'm working on the highest priority items. And that confidence should be what you lean into, what you focus on, being like, hey, I know that this came out of left field, but I was going above and beyond for a client. And so, guess what? This client component, right? I worked on this. This was really urgent and important, and I feel good. I didn't know at the beginning of the day. I didn't know at the beginning of the week this is what was going to come up, but that became a top priority, and I feel confident that that was a priority, and I moved the needle on that. So anyways, that is called the top three methodology. That's what I work with my team. I'm specifically talking about their priorities, not the things that they're getting done today, right? That's a different conversation. Happy to have that. Top three should be about what your priorities are. It should be about the value that you're bringing to the team and the organization. And if you know your top three priorities and you are consistently coming to work, coming to the team, working on your top three priorities, you're escalating risks, you're escalating blockers, you know why you can't get something done, but it's still a top priority. That's okay. Feel good about that. I know my top three priorities. I'm doing it. If you have questions, you need someone else to give you some feedback so that you can feel confident that these are my top three priorities and I'm moving the needle. Great, go ahead and do that. So again, sorry, my name is Molly Yanus, and I am the founder at Echo Consulting. We are a project management solutions company. We do a lot with work management tools. Miro is one of them. We really like to help teams that are growing, that they're struggling, there's friction, there's transparency, visibility issues, and we like to be able to come in and support them so that the hard work that they're doing, the mission that they're going after, that elevates and that team feels effective and feels great and doesn't feel burned out. But we are people. We have the same problems that some of the clients that we have are. So we're constantly working on how to improve. We take our own advice. And thanks for joining. So again, top three methodology, avoid burnout with your team. Make sure that everyone's on the same page and rowing in the same direction. What are your top three priorities? And if people start telling you what they're working on, that's not the same thing. Okay. Those are tasks. Those are things that you're working on. I want to know what your top three priorities are, and I want to make sure that those are aligned to the strategic goals and values and mission of our company. And if you are, you should feel great because you are doing your best for the company.